Paul Snyder here, programming coordinator for Northwest Access TV, doing a little bit of a different show today. I've reached out to the St. Albans Police Department and Northwestern Medical Center to put on an example, if you will, of what it's like to be in a hot car. And what we're trying to do is raise awareness about leaving pets or children or elderly in a car in the middle of the summer for a long amount of time. So with their help, we're going to jump in the car together, the officer and myself, and film what comes about. So I hope you enjoy, and it comes with a pretty clear message. So we're currently taking our blood pressure, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Under saturation.
I've had an earring before.
That's 98.
Okay. So what does that mean? What
So
are
a
those
perfect
numbers?
oxygen sat is 100%.
Okay, so I'm almost
So
there.
you're 98, which is good.
Good.
Anything below 92, you worry about. 152 over 97. Still 5. All right.
Taking our vitals, so now what we can do is hop in the car and see how long it lasts. I'm assuming that just from what I've read and researched that we're only going to last less than 10 minutes.
I assume so.
The car, as far as I know, is about 90 degrees, so we'll go in there, we'll have a little conversation, and which won't help it because we'll be just releasing more hot air, but we'll go from there.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. So I could show you. We're at 95 degrees right now with the windows completely open and the sun. Kind of start our little timer there. We have a little bit of a timer, so start now about 30 seconds in.
Yeah, I can start us time here. And we're on.
So the reason for doing this is we want to know the dangers of leaving, whether it's the elderly, a child, a dog, in a hot car for an amount of time. I don't know about you, I can already feel it. It's only been like 20 seconds.
I could already feel the humidity. I got a good feeling the sweat's gonna start pouring down my head.
Right, very, very soon.
Yes.
The dangers of it. It does happen. I think I've read a child dies from a hot car incident it's every 9 days or something like that.
Right.
It's something that a lot of people maybe aren't aware of, and that's why we're doing this.
Right. And we have seen we receive phone calls on this come often, parking lots, especially animals. It has happened nationwide with children left in cars. Unfortunately, that's not a good outcome as well.
Right.
It doesn't take long. Currently outside, the temperature is approximately 86 degrees outside.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, it's getting worse as we're a minute and 20 seconds into it.
We're 96 degrees, so not rising very quickly in here, but we can feel the effects.
Yeah.
I'm already sweating.
Yeah, I'm feeling it come down.
So what is one of the big questions is when someone leaves something in a car, whether that's a dog or a child, what can a bystander do? What's their first action?
Well, first things first is the safety of whatever's inside the vehicle. Keep in mind that the police response to get there, it does take a while, but first and foremost, definitely call 911.
Mm-hmm.
It's the quickest way to get us out there to assess the situation. You don't want to take control of something, and break a window to do what you need to do, and set yourself up for liability.
Okay.
So just call the police first and foremost. Initially, after that, assess the situation, assess what's going on. If indeed the car is not running, so the AC is not running. If the car is not running,
Mm-hmm.
all the windows you've determined are all up, and it is considerably hot outside.
Right.
Use your best judgment at that point on what you should do. Depending on the response time from the police department as well. you know, the best thing is to make sure whatever's inside, animal, child, human, is going to be safe.
Right.
And nobody's going to fault you for that, you know, to make sure somebody's safe. You know, we do get a lot of phone calls with animals inside the vehicle. You know, we'll go to the call, we'll find out, we get there, the car's running, the air conditioner's on.
Right.
And, you know, most of the time there's even a sign on the window. You know, at one time, a couple years ago, I went to a call over at Walmart where somebody had called about a dog inside of a vehicle. I get there, I assess the situation. There is a dog inside the vehicle. All the windows are up. The vehicle's running. There's a sign on the window. It stated the name of the dog. This name of the dog is inside. The AC is on. The doors are locked, and he is listening to Vermont Public Radio.
There you go.
Vermont Talk Radio.
So it's about, for the driver, it's taking precautions. If you know you're going to be in the store for a considerable amount of time, and I think we're at like almost 4 minutes?
3 minutes and 34 seconds.
34 seconds. It's inside the car. We're at 98 degrees. So we're almost at like what our body temperature was.
Correct.
I'm feeling it after this much, and this is, I think what we're trying to get at is, even though you were already going to go into a store or something for a minute, sometimes you can get backtracked.
Correct. And it doesn't take much.
Right.
I mean, we're not even rolling up on 5 minutes. You know, what does it take to go inside of a store and get a drink?
Right.
You know, you're going inside of the store. There's 3 people ahead of you in line.
Right.
It could take anywhere between 5 and 7 minutes. You know, it's not even 5 minutes yet, and I'm smoking.
No, I'm the same way. I'm kind of best case scenario. You're worst case scenario.
Yep.
You're completely dressed. You
I have a long sleeve. You can see the sweat starting to roll down my hands.
Right down. Yeah, it's definitely the opposite ends here. Especially when, like, for us, we have the decision. When you have a dog in the car or a child in the car, they don't have a decision.
They're vulnerable. They're not able to make decisions for themselves. You know, a child isn't really able to make decisions for themselves. A dog, a cat, a hamster, whatever, they're not able to make decisions for themselves. So they're sitting in the vehicle. That's, you know, we take care of them, and that's what we're supposed to do. You know, as a pet owner, as a parent, you know, it's your obligation to make sure that's all taken care of. It's also a criminal offense. If something were to happen, it's a criminal offense. You can be charged for it, negligence. You know, you'll be charged with full prosecution. It's not taken lightly, especially here. It's a huge thing. We do, you know, we do receive a lot of calls where we get there. You know, like I said, people will call, and then we'll get there and we'll find out, well, the car is running, the AC is on. There have been times we have gone to calls to where it hasn't been that. It'll be hot out. 75 degrees is hot. Yeah. Inside of a car, it's hot. It's nice outside, especially when you have a gentle breeze. You get inside of a car, that as long as that sun's out, 75 degrees, it's going to get hot in
and
the
that's
car.
the scenario we're looking at right now. It's 75 degrees outside. It's a cool breeze and everything. Inside this car, we're at 100 degrees.
Yep. You know, there's been times when I've gone to calls and the windows have been cracked that much. That's not enough.
No.
You know, as you said, you know, it's about 80 degrees outside. You know, all your windows were down. And
we got here, we rolled our windows down because I didn't want that to affect the outcome of this, and we I'm losing track of what I'm saying. We the windows are completely down, and it still rose about 10-15 degrees in this car, just maybe at a standstill with windows completely down.
Correct.
So we've talked about what a person should do if they see it. Are there other measures? Is there a time where the officer or the dispatch or someone will say, you know, it's going to be a couple minutes, do something to help out the situation?
We won't suggest that on the spot because we're not there to be able to assess the situation. You know, sometimes we get what is actually has happened or what is actually happening. We will get a different story through it's kind of like the game of telephone. You know, you see what's happening, or somebody tells you this is happening, you call the police, and it turns into a different story.
Sure.
You know, similar to what it is, but it's you know, we're all human beings. We all have common sense, the majority of us. You know, we can assess the situation. You know, is this going to harm somebody? And somebody can, you know, as long as you can justify what's going on, you know, do what you need to do, especially if we're going to be a few minutes out to prevent something, because we're rolling on 7.5 minutes right now. I'm dripping at this point.
We're at 101, 102 at this point. Yeah. I'm sweating like crazy already. Again, this is our choice. We're deciding to, or
Right.
my choice. I dragged you along with it, and put you in this car,
Willingly.
to put you in this car to see, what the ramifications are. But for someone, like we're saying, a dog doesn't have that choice. A child doesn't have that choice. So,
Right.
We want to get the word out that this isn't something. You have to be aware that this is going on. That this happens in a car,
And it happens quickly.
very quickly.
Very
Like I said,
quickly.
we've only been in for about 8 minutes or so, and this is. I mean, for a couple grown men, we're very uncomfortable.
Correct.
I can open that door whenever I want. But other people don't have that.
Right. Some people, the animals, kids, they don't have that opportunity.
Right.
Hi, my name is Dr. John Minadeo. I'm the medical director of the emergency department at Northwestern Medical Center, and we're here to talk about heat-related illness. And we have some examples of some people who are in a car, and this is one of the most vulnerable areas because being in a car when the windows are closed and it's hot out, the temperature can rise dramatically within a car. In fact, it can go up within 20 degrees within the first 10 minutes of being in a car. So heat-related illnesses is a spectrum, and it starts off by the mildest being heat cramps, and then the most severe is called heat stroke. And in between that you have heat exhaustion. Those are all medical terms that we use, but basically what happens is the body's regulatory mechanism to keep our temperatures at and around 98.6, which is normal, gets compromised when the heat and especially the humidity get overwhelming. It impedes our ability to sweat, which is the main way we control our temperature when it gets hot. So heat stroke is defined as when the temperature of the body gets to above 104, 105 degrees, and you get some change in behavior, some neurologic dysfunction, as well as generally dry skin because the body has lost its ability to sweat. And what happens is you can't disseminate the heat, and so the heat affects the brain adversely. It can then also result in dehydration and low blood pressure. And the most vulnerable population to heat-related illness are the very young and the elderly. And the very young, generally the most fatalities that occur are people leaving their child in the car mistakenly during times of elevated temperature. And in the elderly population, they may be on medications that inhibit their body's ability to regulate their temperature, and they may also have heart conditions that make them particularly susceptible to heat illness.
I guess lastly, if we're going to roll up on 10 minutes here, we'll kind of call it quits at that point, is what are some of the measures that someone can take? Is it just simply just don't leave anyone in the car at any time?
That's a good thing to follow. It's safety also. Even if it's not hot outside, let's say it's a middle fall and it's 55 degrees outside, it's cloudy. Start using it as practice. You don't want to leave animals inside a vehicle. If you can't bring your dog or your pet inside wherever you're going, keep them at home.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. You're not neglecting your animal by any means. A lot of people have pets that stay at home. They stay at home all the time. They don't bring them with them.
Right.
So just get in the habit of leaving the pets at home. Children, obviously, you can't leave your children at home alone. Yeah, but use your best judgment. Bring them out. Bring them with you at all times. Bring them with you wherever you're going. If you're going inside of a store real quick just to pick up some snacks or something, like I had mentioned. Bring them inside with you. You have an infant that's in a car seat, a 4-point, 5-point car seat. Undo the car seat, or undo the straps on the car seat. Bring them in with you. It's not worth it. And like right now, we're rolling up on on 10 minutes now. I can go longer.
Yeah,
I can definitely feel.
I can feel. I mean, I'm
breathing.
sweating a lot more than I was.
Yeah.
I can definitely feel it in my breath. My breathing is getting
Yeah.
a lot heavier.
Yeah.
Just talking back and forth. I go to grasp that breath of fresh air, and
Yeah.
it's not there.
Yeah, it's at this point, and this is one thing that I never thought about it, is the difficulties breathing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm having difficulties breathing now. I'm starting to. It's getting heavier. You can probably hear it a little bit.
Yeah, it just in normal conversation, just back and forth. I'm not able to talk as long as I would want to.
Right.
Taking that deep breath is not. Yeah, it's not happening, and I'm also losing a little track of what I'm trying to say at the same time.
So-
I mean, we're at 103. We've only been in here for 10 minutes, so the car has risen about 15 degrees in 10 minutes. That's any kind of trip to the store. I had to
Right.
go in for a second. Oh, I ran into a buddy. Oh, there's 3 people in front of me in a line.
Correct.
It can happen. So
Yep, anything could happen. You go up there and you can swipe your card 3 times to finish your payment or something, and you may have problems with your cards. Anything can stop you. Anything
Sure.
can hold you. So it's definitely not worth it. Take whatever's in your car, take it out. It's simple. It's not difficult. It could save you a lot of time. I say the same thing. If people don't stop at stop signs, take the couple extra seconds.
stop. Right.
Just take a couple extra seconds to stop. If you have an animal or a child in the car, even if that day you don't have them with you, you normally do, always take a peek. It sounds like I can't even process right now.
That's what I'm saying, right?
I'm speaking for everybody, but it does happen. People forget
Right.
about their kids. People forget about their animals or their pets inside the vehicles. It's unsatisfactory. There's no excuse for it. Always check. Like I said, just take the couple extra seconds. Take a look. Make sure everything.
All right. So I think we're gonna call it. I don't want to put us into any dangerous situation or
we just
anything.
hit 12 minutes.
12 minutes or 104 degrees. So again, 20 degrees in
104.7.
yeah. So I think we're gonna call it, just because I don't want to put us in any danger. We're gonna get some more vitals with our medical assistant there, Megan, and see how we change from before and after. So-
Perfect. All right.
Oh man, that feels amazing. Coming out that car, it feels like this is the entire world
Ice
is AC.
cold.
Yeah, very
Ice
cold. You can see just the sweat just dripping from
right.
from everywhere.
Let's get it fresh.
So I think we'll do is do this as soon as possible. After about the 7 or 8 minute mark, we could definitely feel our, not words slurring, but we were unable to finish our sentences even still
breathing
right
was
now.
labored. The breathing was labored. It was it felt like the high humidity to where you could barely breathe.
I can't believe how nice it feels outside right now. It does. It feels like a nice cool fall day right now.
So your setting's going up, but it started at 85, so it definitely was affected.
Okay.
It's back to normal now.
Okay.
Over 83, so your blood pressure went down from before.
I think I was just a little bit nervous going into it.
Right,
so-
probably, right?
It was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough towards the end. I could start feeling it roll down my face. Like I said, my breathing started to feel more labored. I actually had to try to breathe instead of it just happening, occurring normally. I feel like I'm talking a little bit better too.
Yes.
Than,
yeah. More coherent, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
within the first 30 seconds, we looked at each other and said, you know what? This might not be a good idea. So,
and that's that was only 12 and a half minutes
Right.
that we were in there. So a lot of the times people, let's say it's in Walmart parking lot. If you go to Walmart, you're not in there for 12 minutes. You're going to be in there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes even longer. It's important. Important. Doesn't matter how long you're going to be in there.
I believe it's kidsincars.org. It's a nonprofit that reaches out to talk about things like heat stroke with kids. I mean, a child's body, I could be wrong, you can assess this, that their temperature rises 3 to 5 times faster than an adult does. So, I mean, they're going to feel the effects. I mean, you could almost say 2 to 3 times faster
Right.
than
Children
what we
are
are.
more vulnerable to the heat.
Sure.
And I mean, I'm not a medical professional or anything, but you know, it's if you've already had a heat injury, you're more susceptible to an additional heat injury. So you know, if you already had one in your life, there's a greater chance that you will have another one in an instance like this.
So the point again of us being here is to show not to leave anything in the car, whether that's a child, a dog, I mean even an elderly person as well. Take the precautions, get them out, keep them home. You know, dogs, not the kids. You know, if they need to be watched by an adult. But always take the precautions. I want to thank Officer Schrader very much for
Thank you, sir.
jumping in that car with me. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
And
you.
Megan as well. Thank you for being here to take our vitals and just to kind of give a medical angle at what we're doing here.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much.